Hello and welcome to this video on how to create a dynamic QR code on qrcode.me. I'm Yip Omen, responsible for content and marketing at qrcode.me. So let's get right into it. So for creating a dynamic QR code, we first want to log in, and it's easiest to actually do that at the top right and just go to your own menu where we can just see all of our previous QR codes and go from there. So I'll just log in and then we are here and we can create a new QR code using this nice button. And then we can immediately see that we have a couple of types that we can choose from for creating a dynamic QR code. So, what type you will be choosing for your dynamic QR code will depend on what the purpose of your QR code campaign is. So, do you want to link to a photo? Well, then this one is the obvious type. Do you want to have people review your product or service? Do you want to show a video or maybe a PDF, etc., etc.? Well, in this case, I'll just be directing people to a URL using a QR code. So I'll just choose the link option. Then from there, we can first enter a name for our QR code. So in this case, I'll just put down test QR code 1. And then after that, we can enter the link that we want to direct to. So I'll just direct to our own domain, which is https and a colon slash qrcode.me. And then we can see a concept QR code appear on the right, which can be used for testing purposes to see if the QR code works, so to say. Well, then we move on to some customization. For the dynamic QR code, especially, we have the scan URL, which is the URL which will appear as a pop up on your phone when scanning the QR code. And you can actually choose which URL you want to have appear in that pop up. So in this case, we have four options, and the first option is a custom scan URL, which I inserted myself, and you can do that too. We have a different blog on how to do that. But in this case, I'll just choose QR code.ly, so one of the basic options, and then you can customize that further by adding a few characters in front of the QR code.ly. So it is advised that you use up to 6 characters for QR code.ly and qrlink.me, or up to 10 characters for qr.do to make sure that the text you put in is visible on an iPhone camera app. So in this case, I'll just put QR code down, and that is exactly 6 characters, so that works. Then we can customize the QR code itself, and we can first do that by, for example, adding colors. So we can change the background using this. The foreground, we can even add a background image, or we can even add like up to 3 colors using the gradient option. For now, I'm just going to keep it black and white. Then we can edit the design. For example, we can make it like a more circular design using both the in and the outside edges of the QR code and the pattern which the QR code contains. And you could even change the colors of the edges of the QR code itself. Moving on, you can insert a logo. So, for example, you could insert your company logo in the center of the QR code, and then afterwards, you can choose to remove the background behind the logo, and you can adjust the size of your logo using the slider. After that, it is possible to add a frame. So in this case, I'll just be choosing this phone frame, which best works with my QR code purpose. And it is actually proven that a frame with text, which shows the purpose of scanning the QR code, actually enhances the efficacy of a QR code. So it is advised to just briefly tell where your QR code directs to. So, for example, even something like Scan Me helps, but you can be more exact and just say, like, um, create a QR code if we're directing to a QR code generator. And you can adjust the size of that text using the slider and the font with this bar. Then, moving on, we move to options, and this is the last possibility to edit the customization. So we can change the precision. So we can change it to the highest option, which means the quality is the highest, and that it will be more easy to scan in practice. And you can change the pixel size of the QR code. And lastly, it's possible to just save this formatting of the current QR code for future QR codes. And this is an option exclusively reserved for premium users. It's just a handy feature that might sometimes save some time on reiterating this entire format. Having done that, we can just briefly test the QR code before saving it to make sure it all works. If it doesn't work, it could be due to an error in typing the link. It could be due to contrast, so a lack of contrast in the QR code. It could be due to too much data. And if that all doesn't match, then then I would gladly refer to our blog on the top 10 reasons for why QR codes don't work. If everything works, feel free to finish and save the QR code, and after that, you will be redirected to your homepage, your dashboard, where you can see the QR code. You can download in different formats. You can manage the data, change the style, change the title, and we can even look at the scanning data. Well, right now there's none, but maybe in the future.